Hi everyone, Amy here. Get out those pattern paper scraps and turn it into a card. Today I'm going to make a simple masculine birthday card here for you. Just showing you some scraps that I pulled from my stash. They didn't necessarily come from the same paper pack, but here's a photo of the finished card that I'm going to make for you today. It's got some snarky sentiments and it's perfect for a masculine birthday card if you struggle with those. So here I have a 6-inch roll of double-sided stick tape from scrapbook.com. I will link it as well as any other available products in the video description box below, so just expand that area and scroll down for those product details. But I have some non-stick scissors here and I'm just kind of carefully cutting off the excess. I'm not being too careful to avoid the cardstock because I know that I am going to use a die to cut this panel down, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But this stuff is extremely sticky, as you can see here, so I'm kind of struggling to get that off. But then I'm going to use my bone folder just to make sure it's adhered really well. Now I'm not using expensive cardstock here because I am going to be covering it up. I don't want to waste the good stuff, so it's a little bit lighter weight and less expensive stuff that I'm using here. But after I struggle a little bit, I eventually get that backer sheet off, and now I have a full panel of adhesive super sticky paper ready to go. So I've just ultimately used my little guillotine trimmer and cut down strips of these pattern papers in various different sizes, and you'll see I don't even end up needing the whole space that I used, but I lucked out here with these papers that I grabbed because they looked so beautiful together, and I felt that they were great for like a gender neutral or a more masculine sort of card. So I'm just kind of alternating, no rhyme or reason, no actual pattern here, but just filling up that whole A2 size panel of cardstock with the adhesive on it. Got this little corner here, which again, I don't even end up needing, but you know, whatever, got to be thorough, right? And then here I have paper rose stitched rectangle dies. This is great for A2 size cards, but this is going to cut it down a little bit smaller than the card base, so there'll be a nice crisp white border. The hardest part here was just figuring out how to line it up with the actual white panel underneath, but you know, we got it figured out. So I ran that off screen through my die cutting machine, and here I'm just using some adhesive to attach it to the card base, and here you can see that nice white border. And I did take another strip just to kind of put on the inside of the card. That's cut down to 4 1/4 inches, so that'll be a nice little way to add some continuity onto the inside of the card. So that portion's ready to go. I'm just cutting off this little bit of excess, and yay me, I didn't cut into my card base because you know that can happen. And then here I'm shopping my sentiment book. This is how I store my die cuts. These are baseball card protector pockets. I just have them in a 3-ring binder, and I'll kind of take some time here and there and cut up a bunch of die cuts so I have them ready to go so I can batch cards quickly and have a nice selection to choose from. So ultimately I end up going with that little Celebrate die, and I am going to attach it with some liquid glue. I have my Barely Art glue here, and I'm going to pounce off the excess on that piece of scratch paper there just so I don't have too much, you know, oozing, can't think of the word, wow, need more coffee, oozing out of the edges here. But I'm going to attach this right down onto the card, and I decided to turn it to a horizontal orientation. I thought that worked kind of cool with the composition, and I'm just going to push it down with an acrylic block. Now these are sentiment strips. These are from Tailored Expressions. They make the stamps, the coordinating dies, and also those cool storage boxes that you see that will allow you to see all the little sentiments without having to kind of fish them out from a different container. So just kind of choosing what I want to use here. I do end up picking 2, one for the front and one for the inside of the card, but these are really fun. This is from The Man, the Myth, the Legend, so it's kind of geared toward men for birthdays or Father's Days, but it's got some snarky ones and more heartfelt ones. It's a nice little collection, so be sure to check that out. but I'm just going to liquid glue the one into the front or into the inside of the card, and then on the front I'm going to pop it up with a little bit of dimension. These are foam strips that I got from Amazon. They're a little bit lower profile than the Doris ones, but very similar in terms of the width. They're just a little bit lower to the card. So nice way to add a little pop of dimension without going too crazy, so it'll still be nice and easy to ship. Here's the inside of the card with that little strip of pattern paper. And I realized that I have my anchors upside down, of course, but whatever, it's handmade, right? So anyway, this is a fun and easy card. It came together in a snap, and I got to use up some pattern paper scraps. So if you hoard the stuff like I do, I hope you enjoyed this quick and easy idea to use some of it up. If you did, please hit the thumbs up, and I'll check you next time. Thanks. Bye.